here goes the show. Here I go. This is what I'm going to do. The world's on fire and nothing matters. It's Dude Soup.
I never want to see.
Did that work? Should we do that again?
No,
it didn't work, but I loved it.
I love it. I love you, John. You did great. Thank you so much.
Best thing I've ever seen.
You do for
sure.
What a blessed day. What a blessed day this is, John.
Truly amazing.
Blessed day upon ye both. How's y'all doing? We got Adam and Alana here, and John, of course. That's the person talking right now.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
How's your day going? I hear it's busy, busy, busy.
Everyone's busy, all right?
Got a real busy day. Just as I was saying, tried to order food. They put it at the wrong address. They send the photos to show my food's delivered, and it's somebody else's door somewhere. And so now I can't eat. So that's cool.
Happy.
I got tested for COVID in our parking lot. That was fun.
How deep did you shove that thing down your throat?
Real deep, which proves I don't have the gag reflex I thought I would have.
I was almost yakking a lot of money the entire time. It was terrible. My eyes.
So did you guys?
I filmed the whole thing too.
Oh, nice.
Did you go at the same time?
Staggered.
Yeah, but we all sat in our cars.
Yeah, John, I saw John pull up after me, but they hand you the swab and they go, get it in there for a minute.
Throat.
Yeah, so I set a timer, and it's just like you do it around the mouth, and then you just and boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
So this is so that you could tentatively shoot stuff back in studio, right?
Yeah, we have a project coming up. So.
We're basically, now that we've been tested, we're not leaving the house until the shoot. Not ordering any food, not having any contact with the outside world.
Not even using the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, a lot of things you can't do.
That's fair.
Certain movies you can't watch. It's weird. No. Rules are weird. But.
I haven't touched anything in my apartment that I was using before getting tested. So it's been really hard to do.
You don't seem to have gloves on right now, John.
Well, no, I have a stick that I use to type.
Got it.
Just one letter at a time. That's
gotta be careful. Yeah. Gotta be careful.
You're like Homer when he was work from home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The little water bird.
You've had a couple of tests, right, John? I've not had any because I absolutely don't go anywhere.
I wanted to go visit my family, like a month or two ago, and my brother was leaving the country and had to test negative to get into the country that he was moving to. So it was like, I don't want to risk it. So I went and I got one of those same day tests, and I paid way too much money, but it was worth it to see my nephews and stuff before they left.
Yeah, for sure.
But I wouldn't do it again.
If I go home, I have to spend I have to spend 2 weeks in quarantine in Australia to the extent that they put you in a hotel and you don't get to leave, and there are guards. It's not like a quarantine for 2 weeks. It's you are stuck in a hotel. They serve you meals. You don't leave a room for 2 full weeks. My issue is
do they open a hatch and shove the food under the door and then close it?
I guess. There was an outbreak in Melbourne because the guards were having sex with the people who were quarantining in the hotel.
Classic guard behavior, let me tell you.
Man, yeah.
Just the most Australian thing I've ever heard.
Is it? I mean, that's okay, yeah. I mean, at some point they shave your head, right? And then it's revealed that it was Vigo, or what's his name? It was V the whole time.
Yes.
Isn't that the thing? That's what they had to keep changing out Charles Manson's guards because eventually they just start sucking his dick because he was so persuasive.
I don't know if any of that is true, but I'm willing to believe it. Okay,
that's definitely true.
If you can't tell, everyone who's watching and listening, we're not doing any news today. We're just hanging out, doing some more anecdotal stuff. Because guess what? The only news is a bunch of CSGO coaches cheating. That was the only thing I found, and who gives a fuck?
That's pretty chill.
Someone does.
Yeah, someone does. It was 37 coaches.
Oh my god. Well, if they're all cheating, does it even matter that they're cheating?
It was it's kind of like if everyone in the Tour de France is steroided out, just let them do steroids.
Who cares?
We still have that hypocrisy. How do you question? I mean, we don't have to talk about the news story, but I am curious. How do you cheat in an esport like Counter-Strike?
It was a glitch that allowed the coaches to basically see an unfiltered game in spectator mode, so they could see where everyone was. and they'd basically be relaying that information to their team. And it's been happening for years. So
wow.
Yeah.
Seems like a pretty big oversight.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
A little, yeah. Maybe we just keep doing it then. I mean, it's clearly been working, right?
It's still competitive. It doesn't make you sure knowing what people are is going to help you in Counter-Strike, but in theory, if you're a bad player, that's not going to help me. Still going to have bad aim.
That's why I can't go pro. It's these people getting in my way. All these dirty coaches. It hurts us straight shooters, you know? The Mark McGuires and Sammy Sosas are ruining it for the rest of us.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever gotten a kill with the op. I'm fairly certain I've never gotten a kill with the op. It's AWP, you might call it. It's a sniper.
No kill with the WAP?
Yes. What? Oh, right. That's now a
pop culture
term
for booty.
And one day I would like to learn how to do music production. Maybe I'll speak to John Holland about him, bless him. But I would really like to take the Ben Shapiro reading the lyrics of that song and then put it in an EDM song.
Oh, yeah.
Just have him be like wet ass P word and then put a sick drop after it, you know? I think that would be very fun.
You gotta pitch him down a little bit though.
Yeah.
Get the dulcet tones.
Yes.
Do you have an iPad, Alana?
I own an iPad, yes.
Check out the program Launchpad. A friend of mine showed me that. It is basically like
a Launchpad.
I think it's free, but it's like baby's first like music production, and they sell like a John. You know what Launchpad is, right?
Well, I've
used an actual Launchpad before. Oh wow, this does look really legit.
No, not for just like an actual rocket, not flying a rocket.
No, Launchpad's still like it's also a physical thing.
Yeah,
that board.
Like, it's the thing Madion uses or whatever. But they make an iPad version that you can just like mess with, and I've just been messing with it and like. You can essentially create a song
hardstyle
without trying. You can do hardstyle, yeah. And then I
used to love hardstyle.
I still love hardstyle. How dare anyone who doesn't like it?
You like the Alpha Twins? Those are my favorite. The Alpha Twins.
I like the Wild Styles. I think was one of them.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Brendan Hart might be one of them.
Brendan Hart sounds familiar.
Maybe that's the that's like the hardstyle anthem. I thought
One time I asked Adam for hardstyle recommendations because he mentioned that he went to a show for hardstyle. And I said, I've never heard of that genre. And so I said, hey, can you give me some recommendations? And he said, Google it. So.
Did I?
Yeah, you're like, just look it up.
Honestly, I think probably because it all sounds the same. Like, not in a bad way. Like,
I'm sort of with you.
It's that same drum.
When I started listening to hardstyle, which I think would have been maybe like 2004, 2005 maybe. I found all of it through, I don't know exactly what it was. Maybe it was a record label or he might even be a DJ, someone called Climax. It was Climax. And so most of the songs that I would listen to would have like someone yelling Climax in the same way that someone yells DJ Khaled. Presumably right. DJ Khaled yells DJ Khaled. Yeah. But the idea was that they were all just like from this dude Climax, who I guess made a series of hardstyle albums that I downloaded off my LimeWires and really jammed out.
Yeah, all the viruses too.
Yeah. You never knew what you were going to get. Sometimes it said it was porn, but it was still just a home movie of something not even pornographic.
Do you remember when downloading video was still a thing? So there would be like X-rated audio files. So I remember finding those on LimeWire and being like, what the hell?
James was just talking today about how he downloaded the first few Let's Plays that he ever watched.
Oh, yeah. Well, I used to download Red vs. Blue off of the website.
Same. Yeah.
I watched Red vs. Blue on Google Video before YouTube was a thing.
The first speedrun I ever watched was, I want to say Half-Life 1 speedrun, and I had to download the QuickTime files and watch them in 16 parts, I think, because they were too big.
No way. How do you find them?
Lycos, Yahoo, you're just like, people would just upload them to their website. I think there was the Speed Demo Archive, right, John?
Yeah, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's like, it was what existed before speedrun.com, and so all of like the OG speedrunners are like, this is the archive, this is the website we need to use, but speedrun.com now exists, and it has an okay interface, so it is obviously going to win. Yeah. What is it? Yeah, I forget. It's something Speed Archives.
Speed Demo Archive.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I thought.
All of that checks out.
Yeah, that's, I mean, you would just, back in the day, you would just Google or something, you'd be like, Family Guy, free episodes, and there would be some guy who made like FamilyGuyOnline.com, and he would just upload all the videos for free, and you need QuickTime Player, and you just watch movies like that. And
I remember my friend bought Pete and Pete seasons 1 through 3 on like 20 DVDs off of eBay back before it was released, before Nintendo did like an official release.
I know when, speaking of French, definitely not myself, when my friend used to, download stuff off of Pirate Bay, good friend of mine, and then would seed the things that they had downloaded just to feel like they were helping the community. Mm-hmm. They, not me, would always be like, hey, at least I'm doing something good. Oh, wow, look at all these leeches we got. We're just helping people get the same content. It's going to be fast for them. It's great. Is Pirate Bay still up?
No, it got taken down.
It is actually down?
400 times. I think it's
Yeah, but they always get it back up, don't they?
Remember when they were trying to buy an island, or it was like Sealand or whatever? They were trying to buy that like oil rig so Pirate Bay could be its own like
a real place? Cool.
Yeah.
Well, there was that documentary about Pirate Bay where like one of the founders moved to Thailand or something and married the opposite of a mail order bride. He basically just like met this woman online and went and married her and lived with her family. That he didn't really know her, but it was kind of funny because it just like they were all living in Norway or whatever, and then it cut to him like just sitting there on the floor being like, "Yep, this is where I live now."
The opposite of a mail order bride would work though, because I've been to Thailand. Everything is so cheap. Like a bottle of water is like a cent. So if you wanted to find someone to marry you there just so that you could be rich, in theory that would work.
Well, my original
you'd also have to live in Thailand.
I was actually preparing for this and saving for this, and then I got the job at Funhaus, and I forgot about it. But I was saving up to move to basically just roam around Southeast Asia because the cost of everything and the cost of like staying in hostels and hotels and stuff was so low compared to the US dollar that like with I think like I was planning to save up like $15,000. I would have been able to live there for like
years,
3 years or something. Yeah. I mean, at least according to my math, it probably wouldn't have been that long, but it would have been a long while that I just didn't have to do anything.
I feel like your opium addiction or the heroin would get to you. And
that's what would have happened. I would have succumbed to some sort of addiction.
Yeah.
Probably prostitutes.
Yeah, that's Kike.
Very expensive over there, yeah.
Bring me the pipe. Take me to my happy place. I mean, I don't know why he became Sean Connery, but
always with you, Adam. It's always become Sean Connery at some point. That's how it works.
I was referencing Venture Brothers, but
still, how did you guys feel about Henry Cavill saying he wants to be Bond?
Sure, whatever he wants.
Can't be.
Why?
I don't know.
I
feel like it's an obvious choice.
What?
It's too obvious.
Is it too obvious?
I feel like maybe
he would be the biggest name. Maybe. Sorry, Adam. Go ahead.
Oh no! I'm 100% with you. I think there might be a problem because he is Superman. He's Geralt. He's the man from U.N.C.L.E. He's a lot of. He's Sherlock Holmes now. I think.
The arms.
Yeah, I mean, he's Rogue
Arms
Nation.
guy. Well, yeah. I just feel like everyone who's been James Bond, maybe outside of Pierce Brosnan, but even then I might have my timeline incorrect, was not like super well-known A-lister prior to being Bond. It was Bond that took them up.
Daniel Craig was basically a character actor. Apart from Layer Cake, he was the creepy brother or whatever in Road to Perdition. Is that
Perdition? Yeah. I mean, watch him in like Logan Lucky.
Oh yeah. Too, yeah. Oh, he's
so a silly actor. And then what's it? Knives Out. I think that's him having fun. James Bond pays the bills.
I think he hates James Bond because he's called him like a misogynist and stuff. He seems to like dislike James Bond. And then I know they're making a Knives Out sequel, but Rian Johnson keeps being like, we need to stop calling this a Knives Out sequel because it's not a sequel. It's just that exact character he was playing as the detective, but like in a new thing. It's just like,
gotcha.
Daniel Craig's just having a great time out here.
Fine by me. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, him. That's fine. For a while, Idris Elba was the front runner, or that was the rumor that he was going to play James Bond. Which
too old.
I guess he's too old now, but I don't know. Yeah,
he certainly got the suave for it, but yeah, he's almost 50, I think.
Which is fine. 50 is the new 30. That's okay.
That is true, for man. Yes, but it's also that like people played Bond for a pretty long time. How long has it been, Daniel Craig? I feel like it's been almost a decade, but maybe more than a decade?
Since 2009, right? That's when
Casino Royale. Yeah. So
it's a while, and to have a 60-year-old, no, you could totally have a 60-year-old Bond. It'd be fine. It could totally work, especially if it's
Louis Anderson.
That's a good one.
Who my vote is. Louis Anderson.
Did you get to the third season of Search Party?
Yes.
And he plays a.
Oh yeah.
He's the defense attorney.
I forgot about that. Oh man,
he's great.
Yeah,
I've seen people suggest Tom Hardy. That someone in chat just said Tom Hardy, and I feel like Tom Hardy's a really good actor. Is the thing I believe he could do it because he's a very good actor, but it also like I feel like he's maybe a little too rough looking.
Oh, they could sweeten him up. Did you see the one where he plays twins?
I mean, Bronson certainly is a thing he did. He's changed a bit.
Yeah.
And he was, he had that black goo. Venom?
Talking about
he did.
The box office receipts of Venom, also known as that black goo.
Yes.
I mean, didn't it do really well at the box office?
Did really well.
Oh, yeah. Because everyone thought it was a Marvel movie.
You can't be Eddie Brock and James Bond. That was the rule. They said, all right, Pierce, one of the
written in stone.
Topher Grace. He'd be the best Bond.
Maybe
he played
the
Venom.
editor.
He played Venom.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So one topic. Oh wait, what time is it? Okay. One topic I wanted to maybe have us address was kind of just talk about us growing up playing video games, some anecdotes from our childhood, and kind of our relation to video games. And that's coming up right after this message. During these economically turbulent times, everyone is looking for a way to feel more financially secure. It's important. So if you're still needlessly throwing money every month at high-interest credit card debt, it's time you checked out Upstart, the revolutionary online lending platform that knows you're more than just a credit score. That rhymes, so you know it's real. Now is the time to find out how low your Upstart rate can be to help pay off high-interest credit card debt. Unlike other lenders, Upstart can reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter rate. You don't need a degree or diploma to apply. Trust me. Trust me on this one. I have neither, and I got a good rate from Upstart. They let you skip going to the bank because it's completely online, offering loans from either $1,000 all the way up to $50,000. You can consolidate your debt into one easy fixed rate payment. Upstart makes it fast and simple to check your rate. And when you apply for a credit card, they do that hard pull. It affects your credit score. Well, guess what? Upstart doesn't do that. It's a soft pull. They only do a hard pull if they actually accept your rate and proceed with your application. So don't worry about that. Oh, the best part was you're saying all these good things. How could there be something even better? That's right. If the loan is approved and accepted, most people get their funds the very next business day. That's right. You apply on a Tuesday, you're going to get it on a Wednesday. Usually. Not guaranteed. Over 400,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit card debt or meet their financial goals, including myself. That's right. This is a personal endorsement. I'm not just reading some copy here. This is real. I have used Upstart, and they saved my butt. Free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt and get back to using your money your way with Upstart. See why Upstart has a 4.9 out of 5 rating on Trustpilot, and hurry to upstart.com/do to find out how low your Upstart rate can be. It was capitalized, so that's... Checking your rate only takes a few minutes. Okay, that's upstart.com/dude. D-U-D-E, a dude. Your loan amount will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Not all applicants will qualify for the full amount. Just so you know. Thank you, Upstart. So, like I was saying before that wonderful ad read from a beautiful boy, I think we all kind of have a special relationship with video games in that we grew up playing them, like many people, but also we work in this industry now. Does anyone want to start? I can start.
Go for it, fam.
I'll give you a little example of what I was looking for. So, for me, I wasn't allowed to have video games in my house. So my grandma had a Super Nintendo at her place that it was basically bribing us to come over. And then when I was in I think 5th or 6th grade, my uncle just broke all the rules and bought me a Game Boy Pocket. And my dad was furious.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But he let me keep it because I was so happy.
Why were your parents against you having video games in the house? What was the...
I don't know. There were conservative Christians. I'm not sure their logic there. Like, my brother and sister both went through their black sheep phases in middle school, so I got sent to Heartland Christian Homeschool Center, which was run by, idiot moms, and I learned nothing there.
Homeschool center? Doesn't that make it not a homeschool?
We did what were called pace books, where these it was just religious propaganda, that you basically read a page of text, and then there were a bunch of fill-in-the-blanks of those same sentences, where you just filled that in, and it was like, Moses split the sea, or whatever. And having gone to a normal elementary school, when I got there in 6th grade, this isn't even like an arrogant thing. I was so much smarter than all the other kids there because they'd just been basically teaching themselves since kindergarten, and there were like 2 kids that were self-starters, and so they were smart. They were actually learning from the books. Everyone else, complete idiots. Anyway, growing up, for me, I weirdly didn't really have any friends that played video games. I did here and there, but I was mostly just a solo gamer boy. And genuinely, until I started at Funhaus, I didn't have a regular crew that I played video games with on the reg. So, yeah, my relationship with video games has kind of been off and on because
How do your parents feel about if they were against you having games in the house as a kid? How do they feel about the way that your career has gone?
They should regret it.
Why was it so threatening?
Yeah.
Are you going to murder me?
That's what it felt like, yeah. You'll see.
And then he takes a sip. What's happening?
They were so wrong about so many
but are they
things.
supportive of you now is my question.
I think they are supportive of my creative career. I don't know. I don't think they really care about video games. Who knows?
Lost that battle.
Do they do that thing where they go, I don't understand how you make money, but good for you? Basically,
yes.
I had that for years. My early days of YouTube where grandparents were like, so how do you make money online? And I'm like, someone figured it out. I don't know. I still get a paycheck. So they're making money. They're like, yeah, but I don't understand how. I'm like, I don't know. That's not
advertising
my job.
is the answer, right? It's advertising is how
that's
we make money. I
would say that. And then they go, but why would you advertise online? I'm like, dear, they lived through the Depression, so they don't understand what's going on. It's like a newspaper on the internet, except it's tailored to you and what you want to watch. It knows you better than you know yourself. And it was just right over their head. So at some point you just go, it's porn. I just work in porn. Yeah. I don't know.
They go, great. I'm happy.
My grandma thinks I make video games.
Yeah,
which I've never been able to explain the difference. I'll be like, no, I review them like a movie. It's like you watch the movie and then you write about the movie. And she's like,
oh, wow.
You make the movie. Got it. Nope. No. Still no.
No.
But I guess she doesn't understand the idea that content would exist that surround video games unless it is the creation of the video games themselves is the part that she doesn't get. But she doesn't mind.
I had an uncle email me and say, are you still reviewing video games? I did that twice in my life. And those videos don't exist anymore because Machinima is not around.
Yeah.
So there's no proof that I gave BioShock Infinite a 10 out of 10 because I was too afraid to give it anything less.
You gave BioShock Infinite a 10 out of 10?
That was, I want to say maybe the first or second game I ever reviewed. I was not a reviewer. I was just like, I just love video games. And like, hey, do you want to play BioShock early? I was like, absolutely. And then they said, well, you have to play it by yourself and you can't talk to anyone about it. And then you need to write a review. And I remember getting to the end of that game and being like, I had to call Jess over into the office and be like, can you watch this ending with me? I don't know how to feel about it. And then she was like, I think it's emotional. And I'm like, I don't know what happened. But I enjoyed the ride. So 10 out of 10, I guess. I don't know. And then everyone's like, this is why you're wrong. And I'm like, I guess. I mean, you.
Game reviews in a nutshell, man.
Yeah. I was going to say, you know that pain all too well, where you're like,
never get anything a 10.
Well, I'm just saying though, like, I know you've talked about like Mass Effect and stuff and Andromeda, where it's like, I have an early opinion about something, but everyone else has already made up their mind on this thing. So should I not have an opinion? I don't know.
Very complicated part of games media that really sucked, that I was glad to like leave when I left IGN, was you feel like people are yelling at you about wanting the truth, but when you give them the truth, they don't actually want it. Like I before No Man's Sky came out, I'll like never forget this. I was like very much like, I don't think there's going to be any content. I think this is going to be really disappointing. And you can still see the comments publicly on that video where people are like, this bitch doesn't know what she's talking about. She's so wrong. She doesn't deserve to work at IGN. This is going to be so embarrassing when the game comes out. Came out. Everyone was really fucking disappointed. It was like, but they didn't want to hear it because the marketing will always be more powerful than just someone in games media's opinion. So it's like, I'm always going to be honest. That's what I'm going to do, because what's the point in even continuing to do anything if you change your morals at every step of the way? It just doesn't make any sense. But people certainly in games media get very, very, very mad if you go against what they think is true while also yelling at you about how you're biased when the reality is they are.
Yeah.
It gets complicated.
Yeah. You can't be Nostradamus on every single game, which is the sort of frustrating thing. But then I always thought it was like, well, give the game the benefit of the doubt, because that you don't have the final product. Wait till the final product and then have an opinion. And even then, that's kind of tough because the game's not always done, like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, or SimCity is a really good example of that. But that's also complicated because like part of like my job when I was, a journalist, studied journalism, was that I trained in marketing so that I knew how to cut through marketing. Like part of it was they were literally trying to train us to understand marketing techniques so that we as journalists could provide a service to the public that the public doesn't necessarily look for. Is the idea that, I should be able to assess something before it's actually out to tell people if it's a good purchasing decision. But then it like slowly like became a reality that shit just doesn't matter. That like where video games are concerned, people don't seem to take them seriously. There are loads of studies that show that reviews don't actually affect sales. Like review scores do not directly correlate to a higher or a lower score. There are things that conflict that, like studies in either direction, but there was a GDC talk that I went to where they were like, this game got a 7 and this game got an 8 and they sold exactly the same. Like it's pretty extensive with how they were comparing Metacritic to actual sales stats. And it seems like no matter what review score The Last of Us Part 2 got, it was going to sell super well. It just didn't matter. You can't compete with Sony's marketing machine. You're like, at a certain point, if public doesn't care, I'm just going to have fun talking about them for fun and not do it professionally. What's that face, John? Why you pull that face?
Listen, I'm interested. You said GDC and my ears perked up.
Yeah, remember those GDC plans we had, John? We had a hotel booked together.
We had a hotel booked. Well, it was an Airbnb, but yeah. Yeah. It was some dude's living room.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like 2 beds in like a weird looking... It didn't look great, but it was cheap, and we were going to go.
GDC was always... GDC was probably maybe my favorite convention because it's the most pure.
Yeah, well, because they're not trying to sell things to you. They're trying to sell things to people who are smarter than you, which is the best thing about it. It's like you're trying to sell things to people who make things. I'm just here like, whoa, but they're not trying to make me buy Call of Duty. They're trying to be like, here's how Kinect works when you attach it to a VR game that works with this particular simulation. And like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, game design. Interesting. Instead of just all marketing and hype and trailers and bye.
I learned so much at GDC and have forgotten almost all of it in the past year, but
it happens. You still have aspirations to maybe make video games someday, John?
Someday. I've kind of transitioned to focusing on just making anything.
Yeah. Because I get that.
Like video games, I mean, I think you guys know that I explore many mediums, and it's more the exploration of mediums and learning new methods within those mediums is what I enjoy the most.
Fans.
And so video games, for me, I feel like are an amalgam of almost all of my interests. Like, I make music, I draw, I like programming, and I like storytelling. So that is, it seems like I would enjoy making a video game. But yeah, I also just like goofing. That's something that's also happened in my life where even when I try to be serious, people laugh at me. So it's like, maybe I should just embrace goofing.
I think as people think you're being a character.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
humor.
I mean, yeah. I remember one time in high school we did a 24-hour or 48-hour film festival or whatever. It was something down in San Diego where groups of students in high school and college, they would all get the same script and they'd have 24 or 48 hours to make this short film.
That's cool.
We'd get it on Friday afternoon, and then on Sunday afternoon, we'd watch all of them, and people would vote. It was really cool. But I played one of the characters in it, and I took it seriously, and I was acting serious. And then at the screening, people were, like, belly laughing at my performance.
Oh,
buddy.
I know the feeling. So in college, I only went to community college for 2 years. I took an acting class because I wanted to get into movie making and I wanted to understand how actors thought. I didn't have any aspirations of actually being an actor. And everyone got serious scripts and the teacher just looked at my face and went, "You get the comedy." And
wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I wasn't allowed to be serious. So yeah, sometimes you get typecast, John. That's just how it goes.
I always
get cast
as the affable hot guy.
I know. But that's the thing is like one day you're going to have your serious actor moment. Like I feel like every comedian goes through that.
Yeah, when you hit puberty, it'll be huge for you. Any minute now, bud.
What a sick burn.
My balls will drop
I believe
someday.
in you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Any minute now. Just like
just like the top of your head.
I was going to make a reference to arts and crafts that we did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys killed it.
That was a super fun video. That was a very fun time.
I felt insulted, but yes. You made amazing
my rocks
stuff,
out.
Lana.
I literally just painted some rocks. But I did have a good time.
You did it
great.
well. Yeah.
Well, I like painting. So I was like, I get to paint on workout? Okay, yeah, great.
Yeah.
I did throw them out.
I just super glued a bunch of beads together.
You did, yeah. You did,
I didn't watch the entirety of the BTS. Did she include the part where I chucked them into the trash can? Did anyone see that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I
did watch it all.
Clip where I set up my trash can and I put all of the bead stuff, all of the supplies in like a Ziploc, and I just like yeeted it at the trash can. So it's just a shot of the trash can sitting there, and then from the side, the bag shoots in and like hits the trash can, and the trash can top spins. I thought it was great.
I mean, it's possible I forgot that, but I don't think that was included. Yeah, it was super fun content. No, devastating.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I feel like that's one of those, not to always harp about, we're in quarantine, end of the world, yeah. But like, I think a fun goal in this whole thing is to come out creating something, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's, I mean, like I think both of the things like you're talking about, John, and like trying to be creative. I thought about this the other day. I drove back in my my own small town. There's an old creative writing teacher I had out there, and I want to see if he's still there. Mr. Williams was his name, and he was one of the best teachers I ever had, and I want to thank him for this because he gave me this idea a long time ago where everyone wrote half a story and then handed it off to somebody else.
I love doing that.
It was so much fun, and like,
I think. Well, sometimes you do a page and then pass it off. I love doing that. It's so much fun.
And I think that opened up something in my brain where I went, oh, I can read someone else's stuff and then expand upon it, and like. I love that idea so much. And like, he's actually the teacher who got me into video editing, all this other stuff, because I was reading 1984 and we had to do a project. And so I made the 5 Minutes of Hate, but in PowerPoint.
Cool.
That was a project. And I was like, I want to make this better. And he was like, you should try editing. And my mom was into Adobe Premiere at the time back in, 1998 8 or 99 or whatever. And so
Premier's been around for that long?
It's been around for a while. Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, Adam. Wait.
What's up?
I think we're getting a call from our sponsor. You all know that in Funhaus, I am the resident bear. So you know what that means? I love me some honey. You know what I'm saying? You know what, these days, it feels like online shopping is the only shopping we really do. It should be the only shopping you're doing. It's the safest. And that's where today's sponsor, Honey, comes in. It's a free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes and automatically tests them when you're checking out. They're basically your BFF for online shopping. Here's how it works. You get Honey on your computer for free in 2 easy clicks. 1, 2. Then, when you're checking out from over any of their 30,000 supported sites, that's right, 30,000, Honey pops up, and all you gotta do is click Apply Coupons. You're gonna wait a few seconds, Honey's gonna go search that site, and boom, if it finds any working codes, it will apply the best one to your cart. Guess what? I've used Honey so many friggin' times, I don't even know how much money I've saved at this point. But I do know that they've saved over 17 million members over $2 billion in savings. Are you kidding me? It's friggin' simple, okay? If you have a computer, Honey should be on it. It's free. And it works with whatever browser you use, okay? You can get Honey for free today at joinhoney.com/dude. That's joinhoney.com/dude. You better use that /dude so they know that we sent you, okay? Thank you, Honey, for sponsoring today's episode and for saving me all those bucks. Sweet like honey.
No, yeah, I remember I started on Adobe Premiere because my mom was messing with it, and then my graduation gift from high school was a Mac, so my mom could use Final Cut.
Oh, nice.
I'm sorry, what?
I got a Mac, like a G4 Quicksilver. I don't know if you remember that one. It's older than dirt.
You got that as a gift from the school?
No, my mom got me that as a graduation gift.
Oh, that makes
was
much more sense.
Because I was going to college and I was going into video production, and then tying it all back, John, to your story. I was really into video games, but I was really interested in game capture before game capture was a thing. So I found a way to plug my Xbox into the video in cables on my camcorder, and I would record Halo 2 gameplay.
No way.
Cool.
Yeah. It was nuts. And I was like, it was just weird. I was teaching myself all these skills. And then when I went intern at G4, they were using all the same stuff, like stuff my mom had bought, like an HD, not even HDV. It was just a mini DV deck. I don't remember the mini tapes. Remember those? Those were fun.
Yep.
That's how we used to do game capture back in the day. And then I sort of taught myself these skills for a job that didn't exist and I didn't know would exist. And then I'm still doing that to this day. Like the way we do all of our production and everything is very it's very scrappy.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing
It
that.
is, yeah.
I think it's kind of interesting. I wasn't aware that you did this as well, but like when people ask, I feel like we get the question a lot, like, how do I get a career, like what you're doing? But similar to you, Adam, like, I never had to figure that out because ever since I was a kid, I was just doing all that stuff for fun. Like
I'm the same.
Yeah, like, I used to film with my grandma's
The long-winded
camcorder.
answer. Mm-hmm. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I used to film with my grandma's camcorder and then hook that up to the VCR and then do like record and stop recording. And I would basically edit on my VCR by recording and stopping recording while playing back stuff that I'd shot on the camcorder. And I made a bunch of, short films like that where I shot a bunch of raw footage on the camcorder and then I edited it linearly on my VCR. And like I was learning Flash, I learned ActionScript. I was editing in Premiere and doing After Effects. So it was just a natural transition to doing it professionally. Yeah, like I don't know how to tell. It's just like you should already be doing the stuff that you want to have a career in.
That is the answer, right? It's like just start creating. But I'm the exact same where like if someone's like, how did you get to where you are today? My long-winded answer would be it started when I was 2. Like from my whole life, the 2 things that I've liked doing were playing video games and writing about video games. And that's still what I'm spending a lot of time doing with Inside Gaming now is writing about video games. Obviously less so at Funhaus, but I do really enjoy production. I like planning. But it was just like literally those were the 2 things that I liked more than anything was writing and video games. I was always going to end up doing that. So it's like I prepared my whole life to end up where I was. Whereas that's one thing that I think people get very confused about when it comes to like, how do I get a job in this industry? I'm like, well, why do you want one first? Because usually they're like, I like video games. I'm like, that's not quite enough. Like, what are your real world skills? Like, if you like design, you could be a designer. You don't necessarily like want to just be a game reviewer or be, you know, someone making comedy Let's Plays just because you like video games. You got to pair whatever the real world skills you have are with video games, which there are loads of things to do. Because obviously there's, you know, even website engineers for IGN. Like they had tons of engineers who just happen to also like video games, work at IGN, but it's because they like engineering. And that's the thing that they did from when they were a kid. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, you know, it's just destiny, man. That's what I'm trying to say. You just got destiny.
I found one of the oldest, like, things I had saved in my Gmail, which, you know, is back from 2001 or whatever. But it was an old video I sent to myself. I made a Halo 2 pre-machinima, whatever you want to call it. I actually called the video Red versus Blue. I don't know if I knew the series existed.
Wow.
But I had, I made them Photoshop cutouts, like Tim Goes to the Mayor, if you remember that. And I just made them talk back and forth. It wasn't funny. It wasn't good. But I remember I just found that and I was like, oh, because I was going to try to start my own Halo website. I was like, that will be a business, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that was a failure. I didn't know how to make a freaking website. And I was like, I'll make video content for it and I'll host it. It costs how much? Never mind. So, but like, yeah, it's that sort of thing. It's like asking yourself that question, what do you want to do? It's like, would you do this anyway? If it paid or not? So.
Of course, a lot of people aren't so lucky. Like, you know, just, I feel like we're all very fortunate to have ended up that way. Like, I certainly...
Right time. Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't have been able to get into games media when I did if I weren't living at home. Because my parents were willing to loan me money if I needed to fly to events because I live in a city that doesn't have video games, which is a thing people reach out to me about a lot. It's like, I made it happen. And that I was flying to events in Sydney all the time in Australia. But that still required, like, me borrowing money from people and me living at home cheaply. I mean, my parents made me pay rent, but it was still, if I didn't have that, if I, for any reason, had to, like, leave home earlier, like a lot of people have to, I just wouldn't have stood a chance. So it's still certainly, like, not a thing everyone can do, but I don't know. If you want to create stuff, my pitch is always just start creating it. What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
I would argue it's easier more than ever these days.
Yeah.
At least I got it's a lot more affordable.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I got a job at Funhaus by living in a van or living in a truck up in Oakland. Like, I don't know if I've
we needed that truck, John. We really needed it.
So I was working as an assistant editor down here in LA, in reality TV for years. And it was just like, you know, I don't know anyone in LA. I don't really have any ties here. I'd rather, if this is all I'm going to do, I'd rather just move up to Oakland and live with my friends up there. And so I moved up there with a little bit of savings, which ran out fairly quickly while I was just applying to jobs over and over and over. And then I ran out of money and it was like, I already know I have this cush assistant editing job down in Los Angeles. So I can go down there and do that, and it's fine. But I can spend $300 to buy a trailer cover for my truck, buy a $100 IKEA bed, and live in my truck for a little bit longer.
No way.
That's what I did. And during that time, that was when I got my interview at Crunchyroll, and where I met Scott Bakula. What's his? I forget what his last name is.
We don't have to give out full names, but yes.
I met a guy.
Mutual friend Scott.
Friend Scott. And we connected talking about Rooster Teeth. And he's like, oh, I used to work with the guys at Funhaus. And then that, although he wanted to hire me, it fell through. And so I moved back down to LA and I saw Funhaus was hiring. And so I hit him up and I was like, hey, can you give me a recommendation? And then I guess what happened was...
That all came from us going to that Sonic party.
Yeah.
Because...
Hold up, y'all went to a Sonic party?
So it was myself, James, and Bruce went down to Comic-Con for some sales activation. I want to say this was Rooster Teeth. Funhaus. And I think we drove down or we took the train, whatever. And we were supposed to go do something in the Comic-Con main stage, and we're waiting around all day. And then someone just came out and said, it's all canceled. It's not happening anymore. Leave. And I guess what had happened was they were having these different people on YouTube interview actors. and they had some YouTuber say something very offensive to an actor who was openly gay. And he said something offensive and shut the whole thing down. And they're like, no more of this, leave. And we're like, wait, ruin it for everybody, buddy.
Wow.
But they were basically like, you're free to go. And then we had heard there's this Sonic Mania party happening. I think like the Kind of Funny guys were there, and we're just like, this sounds like such a shit show. Let's go. And they're handing out onion rings and, chili
Adam,
dogs.
Did you meet Sonic? Did you meet him?
Better. We met the core fan base of Sonic the Hedgehog.
That is better.
But our mutual friend Scott was there, who we had worked with back at G4, and like he was I want to say contracting for Crunchyroll, and we just hung out with him, and he was just like, what a fucking shit show all this is. And like Scott is like one of my favorite people in the world, and we were just having a fun time hanging out and just sort of laughing at the madness of everything. And then he was like, you want to come hang out on my boat? We're like, excuse me? He's like, well, we couldn't get an Airbnb, so we're staying on a boat. But the people who own the boat are also on the boat. So we can drink beer on the boat if you want to hang out.
That's cool.
And so we hung out with Scott and like his producers and
Boat Bros.
It was like a patent lawyer for Qualcomm. And he was this dude like a ponytail and his Eastern European bride. And then at some point he was like, you got to meet this guy, John. He's really funny. I couldn't hire him, but he's super great. And like, if it wasn't for Sonic the Hedgehog, we would have never met John Smith. And that's how I always think
Sonic
about it.
really is at the heart of everything when it gets down to it.
Yeah.
You know? I think so. Yeah. Like I said, I saw a kid stand out of a wheelchair. Sonic is our Jesus Christ. I swear to God. That happened. It was real.
So the whole point of that is that even though we do have all these skills, it's also just kind of chance and happenstance and how things happen. Like, if I'd gotten the job at Crunchyroll and if that had gone through, I probably wouldn't have been at Funhaus. So
one of the first jobs that I applied for in the games industry was like when I had started out writing. I think I was working on community radio and I had written for a few magazines, but I was having trouble getting enough work to sustain myself. Really, I was just not making enough money, so I was still working a casual job. I think I might have even worked at a shoe store at the time. So because I was like, this is like very difficult and I'm failing ultimately, I applied to do marketing at EA, and I was there was one person chosen above me. So I got to the final round of interviews. They chose one person instead of me, and I always think that that's the best thing that ever happened to me. It was like I could have ended up working in marketing at EA. Oh no! Like, and that girl stayed there for like 6 years too. It was a really long time. And I was like, thank God I did not get that job. The reason I didn't get it was that they thought that I was ultimately not stubborn enough. They were like, we didn't think that you would have opinions of your own and that you would just do what we told you to. And I was like,
Interesting.
Okay. But okay, that's fine. I was upset I didn't get that job. Now I'm like, thank fucking God.
Yeah. You know what I like to thank God for? Our next sponsor. Hey, lean in real quick. Ooh, that's some fresh breath you got there, but when's the last time you got rewarded for brushing your teeth? Well, with Quip's new smart electric toothbrush, good habits can earn you great perks, like free products, gift cards, and more. Not just a fresh breath. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard us talk about Quip a million times. James has talked about him, Elise has talked about him. But guess what? Now I'm talking about him. This is something brand new that rewards you and your mouth. That's right, you personally and your mouth separately. Says my mouth. The Quip Smart Brush for both kids and adults connects to the Quip app with Bluetooth. You can track when and how well you brush your teeth, get tips and coaching to improve your habits. That's right. If you track it, it will grow. That is a philosophy of the lean startup, and it works. You earn points for daily brushing and bonus points for completing challenges like streaks. Then you redeem those rewards for gift cards, products, discounts, and other stuff from Quip and partners. Beyond that brush, Quip has everything you need to build a complete routine. That's right, we got mint or watermelon toothpaste with anti-cavity ingredients for strong, healthy teeth. We got floss that expands to clean and comes in a refillable dispenser to reduce waste. That's right, eco-friendly floss dispenser. Solar battery charger, say what? That's right, it powers your Quip with the sun, just like Superman. And they got a refresh brag. Bring your good oral care habits everywhere you go. Plus, you can get your brush head, toothpaste, and floss refills delivered to you for $5 and shipping is free. How smart is that? Join over 5 million mouths who use Quip and save hundreds compared to other Bluetooth toothbrushes. Bluetooth brushes. When you get a Quip Smart Brush for just $45. Start earning rewards for brushing your teeth today and go to getquip.com/dude right now to get your first refill free. That's your first refill free at getquip.com/dude. That's spelled GETQUIP.com/dude. Quip! Better oral health made simple and rewarding. Thank you, Quip. It's been a wild and crazy ride to where we've got. I feel like that's it. That's what it is for everybody. Despite what life you have, there's been weird curveballs and, shitty times and good times, and each life we're like snowflakes.
Each life is wet like snowflakes, he says. Old philosopher out here.
I have that written on a wall somewhere.
Each life is
in blood,
like snowflakes.
Fecal matter, but yeah, it's there.
Yeah, no, it's totally true.
You're right, John. That's ultimately there is no path for anyone, or at least you don't want to follow someone else's path because that path has already been laid out. You want to make blaze your own trail, and everyone's life's going to be different. So
it's true.
I guess just be ready for that and
just water, man.
One.
Take some chances sometimes.
Drink water.
Not like constantly.
I mean, I took a huge risk moving to the U.S. to work at IGN. It was like a $60,000 pay cut. Everyone would think it was an increase, but no, it was a $60,000 pay cut to move to a city where I didn't know anyone and I had no family. And it was one of the most expensive cities in the world. Like, a lot of smarter, or not necessarily smarter, but like more people who are more in tune with self-preservation would have told me not to do that. Be like, why wouldn't you just stay in Australia and save money and be with everyone you know and continue to be comfortable? But I was like, yeah, but comfortable is boring. What I'm doing now is easy, and I was working on Australian television, and that job was great, and I really enjoyed it, but it was ultimately, like, just easy. Like, I felt like I had done it and had been doing it for a long time, and I was like, what if I just flipped my whole world upside down? What if I just did that? So part of my plan there was I want to work at IGN in San Francisco, so I was also studying part-time while I was working on TV. I was studying journalism, majoring in mass communication. No, other way around. Bachelor of Mass Communication, majoring in journalism and entertainment. And I just made sure that my grades were good enough that I could transfer to the US for a semester so that I could then meet people in the US games industry, which is what I did. And then applied for a job at IGN while I was there, went home to finish studying, and then moved as soon as that was done. So it was like this long, very long-winded plan that I was very poor for a long time that took a lot of work, but that's the thing. Is like if you're comfortable, I think you're kind of robbing yourself in a lot of cases of doing cool stuff. Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened to me at assistant editing was, I got paid well. I had low rent, so I was making money. I was saving money. And I just got stuck there for years because it was like, what am I, like, why would I change this? It's so easy. But it was just so unfulfilling.
Yeah. Yeah, not being challenged sucks. Back to the thing that started this whole topic, though, John. It was like, well, we're supposed to be started about how we started playing video games.
Yeah. Well,
how did you get in Cyberpunk?
If, you don't have to be challenged in, like, your work. Like, you don't have to constantly do that. You can challenge yourself outside of that. Yeah, personally. So, like, don't think that if you have a cush job, we think less of you. That's not the case.
No. I definitely think you need to challenge yourself as a human and grow and learn and stuff. But yeah, it doesn't have to be professionally, just in some facet of your life. That's how you grow as a person.
What I was thinking, the way we could kind of wrap this up, we only have 8 to 10 more minutes.
Roughly,
is maybe just talk about, not your favorite game, but a game that kind of impacted you in your youth. For me, it was Cave Story. I think when I was like a sophomore, I was Googling free games to play or something like that, and I found a list that listed Cave Story, which at the time was just an indie game in Japan, and someone made an English translation of it, and it was free to download on the internet. I mean,
I'm not familiar with it. I'm gonna look up Cave Story.
And I downloaded it, and it was so funny and so fun.
It's a Metroidvania platform adventure. That sounds exactly like my jam.
Cave Story Plus is out now. Like, there have been so many releases of it since. Like, Nautilus or something is now in charge of publishing it. There's Cave Story Plus where they improved the graphics, and it's just solid movement, like wonderful platforming, and the combat is great. It's a really unique system where your guns have 3 levels, and every time you get hit, you lose XP. So, like, as long as you don't get hit, you maintain, like, level 3 weapons, but as soon as you get hit, it goes down, and then you're at a disadvantage. It's really cool. And the story is so funny. The writing is incredible. And it was all made by one dude. He made the music. He did everything. And that's really what kind of, like, thinking about that was like, I could do this. And I haven't yet, but...
I think you should. I feel like you should go make yourself a little indie game when you spare time. That'd be dope.
I feel like the only way I could do that is if I moved back in with my parents or something. Like, I could only make a game by myself if I was living in a rent-free situation.
Well, you don't think you could do it in your spare time? Like, I know that would take years, but
nah. I mean, you're streaming now. Why don't you stream yourself making the game?
Because most of me doing game development is just watching tutorials on YouTube. So
true.
Oh, yeah.
But I have a friend who released a game it took, maybe like 5 years to make while he was working full-time, called Wildfire. He was an editor at GameSpot and now the editor of Sneaky Bastards, I believe, which is a stealth video game outlet. And he made Wildfire in RPG Maker, I think. Took a really long time, came out, people seemed to really enjoy it. And was like, damn. And when Dan started, he had absolutely no idea how to make a video game. And then he goddamn done went and made one. Nice. And it's functional.
I always forget Greg Savin from Supergiant started at GameSpot.
No way.
I watched his Oblivion review years ago.
Wow.
Is GameSpot the second city of game devs?
Maybe.
I don't know. But he got a few people together and they started Supergiant, and they've made some of the best video games in the last 10 years.
Like, consistently incredible.
Yeah,
awesome.
I am a fan for life. I'm glad Hades is getting a lot of love right now, too.
Yeah, it feels like it's... Like, I know Bastion was really popular, but I feel like Hades maybe has surpassed Bastion? I don't know, because Bastion had the advantage of being on Summer Arcade or Winter of Arcade. So it was also, like, pushed as one of those first, like, Xbox Live event games, and their first, I think, arcade event, which again I'm pretty sure was Winter of Arcade in Australia, but Summer of Arcade here. So it like had a push on, the Xbox Live front page, which was unique at that point in time before stuff like Gold or PS Plus, those things existed. So that had a huge push and people loved it. But I feel like Hades is taken off in a different way. It's not like this is unique and cool and pretty and is here and I like the narration. It's like Hades rules. I really
check
like
Hades out. I wasn't a super big fan of the music one where you dash around with a
Transistor?
sword. Yeah, Transistor.
I've been told.
But I liked Bastion.
I've been told Transistor gets. You have to. I couldn't get over the UI.
It's got a lot of learning. My least favorite of their games is actually Pyre, but I still like it.
The basketball one.
Yeah, I didn't like it so much.
I'm gonna check Hades.
It's good stuff.
Heard it had a good story. I do need to play Pyre. I for some reason I was like, this would be the perfect game to play on a Switch, and it's never going to come to Switch. So it's just
Pyre.
Yeah, they did I think I talked about this on the podcast last week, but they did an AMA and they said Pyre specifically they would have to, like, it doesn't make sense for them to port it because it's just a jumble of code to do it. And when they made Hades, they made it with other platforms in mind. They didn't do that with Pyre.
Interesting. So, that makes sense.
Yeah. They're pretty transparent about it. I like that. So.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam, what game changed your life forever?
I mean, literally Halo.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I got a job because of Halo. It was I was doing game capture for I don't know if they're in business anymore, but a place across the street from G4 called Channel M. Tina Wood got me the job there, and then one of the guys working there, who funny enough he was the brother of the voice actor who does the voice for like one of the Transformers. He's also the voice of Wacko, I think, on Animaniacs. But yeah, It's like the brother of a famous voice actor, worked in this small studio. And he forwarded me an email and goes, hey, this place called Machinima is looking for people who know how to play Halo 2 and World of Warcraft. And I was like, I know one of them, so I'm here because of a game Bungie made. So
nice.
It's crazy.
It's weird.
It's true.
I mean, also this platform we are currently on exists because of Red versus Blue. And
yeah, that's a good point. Halo's done a lot for quite a number of us here.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it, that a game, a property created jobs that are outside of the actual video game. It is crazy to think. But,
I was playing Master Chief Collection on my Android phone last night.
With xCloud?
My gosh. Yeah. And it just works and is so... I don't like that controller so much. For Halo specifically, I was using the Elite with like the connector thing. But
attachment,
yeah, which it's just wild because I was like... Because, like, this is not how I want to play Halo. Like, when I want to play Halo right now, I'm playing it ultra-wide. It's beautiful. I've been playing through Reach. I'm, like, so happy to play that on my PC. But then when I started playing it so that I could test it, I didn't want to stop. I was like, I need to stop playing Halo. Why am I still doing this? Like, it actually feels really good. I had to change the sensitivity significantly for some reason in that setup. I don't really know why that happened. And sure, there are, like, some stutters, but mostly,
you can do video out of an Android phone. And do that to a TV. That idea to me is so madness that it's like, this is kind of an underrated feature of the next generation, is that you can take your Xbox with you on your phone.
It's nuts. And the fact that it had my save progress, I was just like, this is
the cloud.
And I know that this is going to be a thing that, like, I'm glad we're talking about this here, because even in 5 years, this is going to be dated. We'll be like, no, look how novel they found it. And it'll just be like completely normal. But man, it works so well.
That's why I wish that all these, publishers weren't trying to destroy GeForce Now, because it's basically that without a subscription model. Because all the, Stadia, all these things, it's like, you don't own the games, you just subscribe to them. Whereas GeForce Now is you're just getting access to a supercomputer and you log in on your Steam account. So it's like you own the games, and all you're doing is just getting access to a fast computer. And I feel like that model could really take off, like xCloud. If it's stuff you own, and it's you're just getting access to it remotely, that makes so much more sense. And sure, there's all the things about people's internet connections and everything like that. That needs to catch up, but
of course.
In terms of being able to remotely play things that you own, I think that concept is going to take off. Maybe not in the United States, because ISPs are going to die before they, improve speeds.
It's a good point.
But everywhere else, every other Western country has like crazy speeds for affordable prices.
Not Australia. Not Australia. We ain't got shit. You can't even have xCloud in Australia.
You don't count.
Yeah.
Fair. We are technically counted as part of Asia in a lot of regional mappings.
That's why. Well, don't you? Australia gets all its internet from Japan, right? There's a giant cable going underwater. Isn't that where
pretty much? It's like a 4-hour flight.
Yeah. Wow,
and there's a bridge to Hawaii.
That's why we need Starlink. We need those satellites, and then I don't know. One day. You're right, John. In 5 years, fingers crossed, internet is more. Yeah. It's not so much a utility. It's just it's like water. It's always there and it always works.
We need more internets.
We need all the internet.
I mean, more than ever. The more dependent, society becomes on the internet, the more it becomes a utility. Like so many aspects of business across all industries are now completely dependent on the internet. It's like
our whole jobs. It's like our whole thing.
Like accounting, everything like that is all done digitally on servers.
We could do this job from Thailand, is what you're saying, and I can live in your truck.
If my download speeds were faster, I would have gone home to Australia for this period of time and just worked for Funhaus from home. But our download, someone would be like, "Hey, Alana, do you want to play this tomorrow?" And I'd be like, "Give me 2 days."
Yeah.
It's not good.
I think that's the funniest thing. If you watch The Apartment with Jack Lemmon, it's literally they own floors and floors with just rows and rows of desks, and everyone is just processing paperwork. Like they had buildings dedicated to people just going file by file, processing all of the information.
Still kind of
crazy shit.
Yeah.
But I love that sentence, Alana, because I want you to go back in time and explain that to like a pioneer and go, I would fly back to this country in the middle of the ocean, but this magic that flies through the air doesn't work so good.
Can't get the internet magic to work. I mean, it does work in parts of Australia. Like, there are parts of Australia that have really fast internet, but none of them are near my family. So what would be the point of going home? Like, sure, I love Australia, but then I would have to pay double rent to just be isolated in Australia. Like, I don't know that that's the ideal. But yeah, it's such a bummer. Yeah. Like, I could have, not been isolating alone. I could have been isolating with my family. That would have been awesome. But
brings up a lot of interesting questions about where people can live and work. Maybe it doesn't have to be Australia, but it could be something similar like Montana. It's not similar, but it's remote.
Make everything cheaper. That's for sure.
California's expensive.
California's really expensive out here.
All right, well, I want to thank y'all.
Anyway, my game is Ocarina of Time.
Oh, I was gonna say I thought it was the PlayStation Oi toy. I don't know why I said it like that.
The Oi toy.
I love the Oi toy.
PlayStation Oi toy.
Ocarina of Time. Yeah, that makes sense. I hear that.
There were plenty of games that I loved before that, and it wasn't my favorite game as a kid, but it's the one that, to say this very shortly, like, expanded my mind where video games are concerned, that I was like, they could do this? What? And I feel like I was, like, in it forever when I finished Ocarina of Time.
I feel like Final Fantasy VII was kind of like that for me, too, where it was like, you can tell stories with depth in a video game.
Metal Gear Solid, the first one on PS1. We were like, what are those? What's that noise coming out of his mouth?
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking. Weird. And acting and emoting.
Amazing.
Awesome.
What the hell?
So cool.
Thank y'all so much
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this was a fun, kind of a different kind of dude soup, just chilling, chatting, and learning about each other's pasts.
Have a fun time picking a headline for this one, John.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Any ideas?
Alana in Cyberpunk? Question mark?
Yeah, you could probably do that. You could. Yeah, I'm in Cyberpunk. You could just ship it.
I keep looking at your chair. That's why it's reminding me that it's coming soon.
I know. It's like just over a month away, and I'm very excited.
Oh wow!
There's new consoles coming out. There's a remake of Demon's Souls. There's Cyberpunk.
I'm excited about that too.
Ghost Runner's 1 month away. Doesn't it come out October 28th or something?
I'm really excited.
That sounds right.
I'm so excited. It's like one of the only games I've pre-ordered ever. So
no way.
Yeah,
that's dope.
I don't support pre-order.
Yeah, good stuff.
I
kind of don't anymore either. So
Devil May Cry 2.
Wow.
Yeah, I love the first game so much, and then I bought that second one and went, no, this isn't right.
Yeah.
You just kill everything with the guns. Dang it. I thought wall running was going to be cooler, and it wasn't.
Nah.
Sorry, I'm rambling. Sorry, John.
All right.
Yes, let us.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.